All right, ladies and gentlemen, ScottYoung is in the building. What's up, young lady?
Absolutely, I'm good. How are you?
So I've always known you as Mona Scott.
Yes.
And the Young.
Came from the husband. I got married.
How long you been married?
Well, we've been together 17 years. We've been married about 8 years.
So why hyphenate?
Because I wanted to take on his identity. We had merged, but I also wanted to keep my own.
See, I don't know if I could do that. When I get married, you gotta take my
When
name
you get
and that's
married,
it.
you're a commitment phobe, Ebro.
No,
Yeah, exactly. He's never getting married.
Listen. When I get married,
Okay.
I'm putting out positivity.
I like that,
into
being
the universe.
To the
optimistic.
universe,
That
okay.
it
Good.
could happen. Right?
It could happen.
So, tell us about your backstory. I mean, I've known you for a long time, but I don't want to assume everybody else knows you.
Right.
I'd like to know more.
Yeah, where you from? How did this happen for you?
Well, I was born and raised in New York on the Upper West Side. My
Yeah.
family's from Haiti, so I'm a proud Haitian American.
Sac passe.
Sac passe, naboule.
Yeah.
I started out in music, doing artist development, and that led to me working with a group that was produced by the Trackmasters.
Well, real quick,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of I started out in music, but
I actually didn't start out in music, interestingly enough. My first taste of being in proximity of celebrities and artists was working at Radio City Music Hall. I was
Really?
one of those guest relations directors.
Really?
When celebrities came in to do shows, I was backstage escorting them, taking care of them. That was kind of what I did.
So in that moment, because we see a lot of young people coming up, you know, they're helping out at Summer Jam or they're
Right,
helping out at
exactly. Absolutely.
How did that transit? Like, what was the moment? What did you say? Did you get somebody's business card? Did you?
No. It wasn't that clear a transition. It was actually my first interaction. So that
Got
was
it.
the first time I thought, like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. I wasn't into music like that. I know some people live, eat, breathe. That wasn't my thing, but I liked the interaction. And I felt like, you know, it was something that I could do, navigate in this world. But fast forward, was working for a placement firm, graphic designers, nothing to do with entertainment. And then I went into a dance studio one day. I went in there to take an aerobics class, believe it or not.
Say word.
And this is the long story. I'm telling you all the long story. And I watched a jazz dance class, and I was like, I think I could do that. That's kind of how I approach everything in life. Either I can do it or I can't. And
But
most
you're
times I can do
realistic
it.
with yourself.
Absolutely.
How were you? Were you good in the jazz dance class?
I was very good.
I remember I invited her to the African
and I'm
samba
dying to
class
go.
with
I'm
her
still
mom.
dying to go to this day.
Okay, Fox being that Alvin Ailey every weekend.
I
working it
know,
out.
and I love that she does it with her mom, so I'm definitely dying to go. So
Okay.
that was one of those things when you know you found like probably what you were meant to do in life. So I really enjoyed that.
So you were a dancer?
Well, I danced for my own enjoyment
Wait,
and
weren't
not
you
for
in a
dollar
video?
bills.
You was a background
yes,
dancer.
I was, damn it. I was in a video.
I wasn't gonna let you squirm out of that. Which one was it?
I was a flavor of the month. Thank you very much. Shout out to Dress.
Oh, you were in
Sheep.
Black Sheep video. You was flavor of the month.
I heard you got the people for the flavor.
Yes. Listen.
Yo, but time out though.
Yes. Those girls were nice.
Black Sheep. Well,
Hold on, I'm
I
Googling
remember
right now.
watching the flavor of the month video and being like, ooh. Secondly, it wasn't like you was in a cornball associated with a cornball crew.
Right.
Like Black Sheep was in official hip hop.
Absolutely.
That's legendary right there.
Absolutely.
The other thing I'd like to point out is that first Black Sheep album was explicit content,
Flavor. Okay, here we go.
You just felt the need to mention that?
but great album.
Absolutely.
Great album.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, that wasn't what I did. I really was focused on artist development, you know, helping artists, stage presence, holding the mic, projecting to the audience.
But you didn't at that moment when you're asked to be a video vixen would be the way they would.
I don't know if they call them video vixens. Back
They
then,
didn't. No,
they
it was
were
just
actually dancers
Yeah.
back then.
Right.
They weren't vixens. They actually danced.
Right,
Yeah.
but now there would be kind of the equivalent. I mean, they still have some dancers in videos, though.
Yeah,
Beyonce has dance. I mean, if that's what you do, Chris
Oh,
Brown.
absolutely,
There's still
absolutely.
people who dance for a living.
Absolutely, yeah.
I want to focus on that for a minute because you had to make a transition because they're looking at you as just a pretty face who's dancing. How do you now transition into being this person that they take seriously to trust their careers with?
Well, I'll tell you what was interesting about that in particular. I was working with the group on their stage presence and their development, and then Drez was like, you know, oh, we really want you in the video. So that wasn't really something, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it wasn't really where my head was at. I enjoyed the process of helping them, and I think that was the spark for me with management. You know, helping them bring their show to life, helping them deliver to that audience, helping them get the job done. I found that that was just something that fascinated me and that I was interested in. And I think that's where that spark was ignited.
Yeah, but even back then, I mean, rappers were still trying to get with the girls in their
I mean, they
videos.
were trying to get with the girls, but it really wasn't my focus. And
So
that's why
Mr. Long
I was
never
saying,
tried to get at Mona
no
Scott.
Dress, no Mr. Long. No. As a matter of fact, maybe there was something wrong with me, but because they weren't trying to.
They wasn't trying to highlight you at all.
They wasn't trying to highlight me at all. But I also think it's about the way you carry yourself, or, you know, what you project. I think they understood that Mona, she's all about her business, because that was the transition into management. Just, you know, you start handling one thing to make sure they get to your rehearsals on time. Before you know it, you're interfacing with the label. Next thing you know, one of the groups that I worked with, the A-Team, they were produced by the Trackmasters. They were in Select Records. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chubb Rock. They were signed to him. That's really what my introduction was, because in working with them on their show, I started interacting with the label, handling one thing after another. Before you know it, I was managing their calendars, managing their schedules, and that's when the Trackmaster stepped to me and was like, look, we know, you know, what you're doing for the guys. We like the way you're moving with them. We think you could do this. We'd love for you to manage our careers.
And no one ever tried to fuck.
Whoa.
Well,
No disrespect,
I wouldn't
but-
say that. No. Well,
No, I mean,
well,
but did you ever? Because I know a lot of young women go through this where they're.
they do go through this, but you
And
know
that's what I want to get to is how did you manage and navigate? Because that's the gem. Because we see a lot of young girls coming up, and look, people fall in love, man. People want to have sex with their who, you know what I mean?
Well,
it
it happened
happens.
to me because that's how I met my husband.
Okay.
My husband used to do security for Busta.
Okay.
Yep. So that was a real problem because I do have this, mentality that you got to maintain a level of respect, not only for yourself, but also so people can respect you, they can interact with you on a business level, and also so that you can be taken seriously. So I broke my own cardinal rule when I started messing with him. He was Busta's security guard, and he'll tell you it took him a minute. He needs to call in right now, verify what I'm saying. It took him a minute to break through, but mainly because I was like, not trying to go there.
Now, I'm not trying to go there because I don't want to play myself. Was that the thing at the moment?
Well,
like this dude?
not trying to go there because I don't want to be distracted. I'm focused right now. I've got things I'm trying to do, and in order to get them done, people need to perceive me a certain way.
All right.
You would be a deterrent to that. You would be a distraction.
You
to
would
that.
you would kind of take my credibility away.
Exactly. So, but then one thing leads to another. You want a European tour. It gets lonely out on the road. Before you know it,
Late night, sneak into a hotel room.
Yeah, a bottle of champagne. But we hooked up, and it was so crazy because Busta was not a happy camper. Busta was not happy at all.
He didn't like that shit.
Nah, because, we had been rocking together for such a long time. He was very kind of territorial.
Wait, so how did Busta find out?
Well, because we ended up telling him it was pretty, we weren't trying to hide it or nothing. So then it was like, yo, why is your man following me around? I'm like, because that's his job. He's your security guy. Why he looking at me? Because that's what you pay him to do.
Right.
But so finally they just decided that the working thing. But they, stayed very good friends. And over the years, Busta would hire him back. And and it was not until, we decided to have a family and I had my son that he made the decision like, we can't both be out on the road, out on tour, out, in the clubs. One of us has got to raise these kids.
He decided to be the at-home dad,
Absolutely.
which is definitely commendable.
Which
you don't
he
hear that a
takes
lot.
so seriously. I'm telling you, I stay home for one day and I'm like, yo, how do you do this?
That's what I wanted to
know what
ask
I'm
you,
saying?
like, about the balance. As women, we all want that balance between career and having a family.
Right.
So that's the agreement that he made. But every man's not going to do that.
Every man is not going to do that. I recognize how incredibly blessed I am because there was no compromise of the manhood, compromise of the dynamic of the relationship. Because that's one thing that I find. I think we as strong women, strong black women, have an issue with our men being in that role. There's something, somehow we think is emasculating about that. And for me, what was sexy to me was the fact that he was willing to make a sacrifice, because it was a sacrifice, in order to, one, support our family and be there for our family, but to support me and what I wanted to do.
Well, and also, I'm sure, he's a smart man. He recognized that you was popping. I mean,
that was part of
that
it.
Was
that was a business move, yeah.
Right, like it wasn't like I can't put the brakes on how she's moving. She's got Busta Rhymes. Chris Lighty's got this Violator thing. You and Chris Lighty formed a partner.
Violator Management,
and what was under that umbrella at that moment in time?
In terms of artists?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, when we started, we managed everybody from, Tribe Called Quest, Mobb Deep, Busta coming off of Leaders of the New School.
Red Alert.
I mean, it was everybody, at the height of, and over the course of the years, Maxwell, LL Cool J, Fantasia, Mariah Carey. I mean, you
Missy
know.
Elliott.
Missy Elliott, of
falling,
course.
yeah.
I mean, Missy Elliott came early on and has been, you know, still with me to this day.
Right.
So I think, you know, from my husband's perspective, he understood the business model of what we were trying to build, and that was his role that he played.
He needs to write a book on giving
Being
advice
a man.
to men.
Being a man, yeah.
Being a
He
man.
needs to
Like
write a
I
book
said all
on
the
that.
time, he took that baby bottle, slung it in his back pocket, and that was the sexiest shit on the planet. You know?
That's dope. That's
Yep,
dope. So,
absolutely.
so now we fast forward to today. Mona Scott's come up in the game, and you get pegged with a lot of, I guess, what I hear on this side, on Twitter, on Facebook, and all this. Mona Scott's the reason for Ratchet TV. With Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, all of these things where you see young black people, specifically women, having altercations and fighting and acting ghetto on television. People don't know your backstory. They
Right.
just see your name in the credits.
They don't know the backstory. They see the name in the credits. What's kind of I don't know, annoying, can I say that
Yeah,
word?
of
Is the
course.
fact that there were tons of these shows before Love and Hip Hop came
Okay.
along. The problem, I guess, quote unquote, is that this was an actual good show that was popular
Okay.
and that people tune in to see. So all of a sudden, it's garnering more attention.
Heavy is the crown.
You know,
Heavy is the
absolutely.
crown.
And I'm fine with it because, like Star said, I sleep good at night. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
like whatever people want to say, everybody's got an opinion, right? What's
But
that
do you
saying?
feel like there's a social responsibility that you have because it's such a big platform and there are a lot of young women tuning into the show?
It is a big platform. There are a lot of young women tuning the show, but like everything in life, those young women have choices, right? There's a sense of responsibility
You
that
mean the
begins.
people on the show or watching the
No,
show?
I'm talking about the people watching the shows. They have choices. The women on the shows have choices. I don't always agree with the choices that they make. You know, do I try to provide them with a platform to help, you know, promote, leverage, take them to where they're trying to go? Absolutely. Do I necessarily always agree or subscribe to the way they choose to get there? No. But again, I'm not here to pass judgment.
Now, in those moments, though, and I don't want to. I obviously know from knowing you, and obviously now being looped in on Love and Hip Hop and the Gossip Game, I know there is some mentoring that you do behind the scenes with the young
Absolutely,
women.
but nobody wants to hear about that. Everybody wants to think that I'm pitting them in a, you know, in a ring, and it's a ridiculous notion. First of all, there is not one of these cast members who would step forward and say that, because that conversation about nonviolence is a conversation that I have all the time until I'm blue in the face.
Okay.
You know, these shows are made up of following the situations that are happening in their lives.
Okay.
We're not going to focus and turn the cameras on people who don't have things that are going on in their lives
and it's a balance
that are compelling.
Well, and it's a balance. And I even hear, you know, people call us and, you know, the lyrics in songs, right? Or there's a rapper who's talking about his life experiences, which people don't like. They don't like how he talks
Right.
or she talks or the topics that they cover. And people are entertained by it, and it's great music. But at the same time, other people are like, well, you shouldn't
They're
play
outraged
it.
and they don't want it, yeah.
You know, the balance is you kind of understand that there, look, if you don't like it, turn it off. If you don't like it, don't buy it, right?
And that's what I say. Or if you don't like this in particular, there's something else out there that you like. And if you support that with the same, you know, excitement and enthusiasm that
There
you
would be
support
more
this,
of that
there
stuff.
would be more
Yes,
of that stuff.
yes,
Even
yes.
I support the other stuff because I want to see there a bit more of a balance out there in television and in media. You know, do I want to be able to do different kinds of shows? Absolutely. Do I think that these shows shouldn't be on air? That's the part of it that really pisses me off. It's like, we all know these people, and I think that's part of what, like when you said you get embarrassed, it's because you recognize something
Right.
there. You know, there's that little moment of uncomfortability because
Well,
it's
like,
like, I know that
and
shit
I
is
said,
true. I don't like it about me.
I don't like
You know?
watching ratchet TV of any kind, not even the shit that, you know, you put out, in the context of sitting next to a white person.
But
because
what
when I
makes it
see
ratchet? What makes it ratchet? The
not
fact that-
necessarily the scenarios. It's not the scenarios.
Okay, so what makes it
Sometimes
ratchet?
and this is for all television. I don't like seeing ghetto, inarticulate, ignorant behavior on television. That's why I don't watch reality
when
TV,
you say,
though.
Exactly.
I don't watch
now,
it.
also, you say on television. Now,
I don't like it in real life.
Does this behavior exist?
Yes.
Do these people exist?
Yes.
Do these situations actually
Yes,
exist?
and I try to stay away from them at all costs.
And that's why you have the prerogative of watching a different channel and a different show.
That's right.
But should these people not be on television because you don't subscribe to the way they act?
I don't subscribe to that philosophy at all. I think that if people want it, it's going to be provided for them, whether you do it or the next producer or whomever. So I don't subscribe to that.
And if by virtue of watching yourself objectively, you decide to make a change, or if it helps you, leverage your celebrity into something that's income generating or that helps take you to a different place, like, what the hell is everyone sitting around, getting down on these people for? It's like...
Yeah, but Ebro, you said next to a white person. Now, we do have those ratchet reality shows that cater to the white person that acts ghetto and
I don't
have Child and all of those other crazy...
And you know what? And I love those shows. I don't watch those shows, but I love them. Because I don't believe that there's enough... No, it is. It's absolutely racist. But I don't believe that there's enough of representation of black people. Right? You only see us as athletes or doing crime or rap. And so when another opportunity comes, right, I want it to be something beyond those scenarios. And not that it's your responsibility.
No, but there are tons of shows, though. I've been saying I'm really proud of BET. They are stepping that game way up. Way
this
up.
Season.
The programming is great.
Yes.
The production value is there. The shows are entertaining. So I'm like, that is great.
Yes.
And there's a faction of the population that prefers that, like you, Ebro. Tune in.
I like the real
Watch
I'm
those
on that.
shows. Give them the support.
I'm on that.
Absolutely.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
And this is not going to be a total picture, because every time you mention, like, let's talk about Love and Hip Hop, I'm like, this is not a total picture of who I am and everything that I'm going to do. This was a platform that came as an extension of where I came from.
Right.
I came from hip hop.
That's right.
In the world that I navigated, these are the women that I knew. These are the things that they dealt with. These are the situations that went on. And so in my first foray into television, I decided to start from a place that I knew.
And based on what you just told us previously, your life was kind of love and hip hop.
Absolutely. There's a little bit of me in those girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see a little bit of my life there as well. And again, I think that that's what makes people uncomfortable. They don't like that. They'd rather sweep it under the rug and act like it doesn't exist.
Now, your ability to recognize talent, obviously, and working with all the talent you have over the years, helps you in this scenario as well, because now you have to recognize people who will be entertaining on the shows you create, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of it.
It's different because these are like real life people. These aren't performers.
These aren't performers. They're real life people. This stuff is not scripted. They're not being given a sheet of paper with what to say and what to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's about recognizing, this is somebody who has the ability to.
But you got to capture those moments and know that in those moments they're going to be compelling.
Absolutely. And there are tons of moments that aren't compelling, that just don't make it, because nobody's turning into 46 minutes of boring television.
That's right.
Like, let's remember that at the end of the day, this is also an enterprise.
Speaking of 46 minutes or any minutes of boring television, I've used this example with some people before where I talk about the popularity of your programs. In contrast to the lack of popularity on networks like Oprah's, who have struggled. Right? If you got an opportunity to take content to, I don't know, something like Oprah, who's seen as the beacon for, black women and positivity and business, how could you, because her network is struggling, it's not really a secret, could you help someone like an Oprah?
I mean, that to me is an exciting proposition. It's just about, I think a big part of their issue right now is, I don't know who their demographic is. I don't know who their target audience is. Is it African Americans? Is it multicultural? What's the age range? Because it feels like it should be skewing older. So I think the first thing I would kind of define is, what is this network going to represent and who is it going to represent it to, right? What's our target demo?
Everybody paying attention, gems are being dropped. So what do you have going on today? You have this mixed Moscato that I know about.
I'm very excited about mixed fusions. Like, for me, this is a total new direction. Here, I'm going to hand it over.
And
there's like 4 different flavors in there.
There are 4 different. No. We only have 3 flavors. Okay. There's original Moscato, there's peach, and there's coconut.
So all of this is Moscato wine.
It's based in Moscato wine, but it's fruit infused, so it has fruit juices in it. It's carbonated.
Wait a minute. Time out.
What?
Time out. You own this?
Well, I'm a partner, yes.
So you're a partner.
Yes. But what's exciting for me about this is I was, there very beginning, level of carbonation, name, color, taste, feel. So,
But a big burly man like Ebro enjoy this.
This isn't
you know
for
what?
me,
It all
guys.
depends.
This
If he's
isn't for
into
me.
sweet and sparkling. This actually
I'm going to tell you when, time out, before you jump ahead. Now,
What?
if the scenario presented itself where this is what she wanted to drink,
then it would
I'm
be all
drinking.
good.
Okay,
Then you're
see?
drinking it too.
if this was the key to unlock the Pantene,
Oh my God.
I'm drinking Miss Moscato tonight, boys and girls.
And it might very well be.
Well, I commend you on this.
Thank
and this
you.
is everywhere now. Like I can pick this up.
MYX Mix, get in the mix. You can go to mixfusions.com, but it's in New York, New Jersey, Vegas, LA. We're moving into Atlanta,
dope.
DC.
Okay.
So we're making our way across the country. But
Now you also have events. Can people I've heard about events that you have like
exactly.
mix and what do
We
you
have
call
a
them?
couple of programs. We've got the Mix Fusions Lounge,
Okay.
which is kind of a sexy little nighttime program.
And
a
this
lot of the
happens
events.
around the country.
Yeah, we're partnering with promoters to do those in clubs and stuff. And then we've got Mix and Mingles, and these are for brunches and,
And now
in the summertime.
you spoke earlier about Target and your target for this, like the people you're trying to reach.
I mean, you know what? Everybody thinks because it's a sexy little bottle, it's going to become like the beer alternative for women because
Okay.
it's a easy twist off crown cap. It's small, handheld,
it's kinda
sessionable.
purty.
And it's very, very sexy and pretty.
purty.
But I mean, it's just the wine drinker, the casual wine drinker who just wants something they can just take to the head.
Mm-hmm.
But, 21, legal drinking age.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly, absolutely.
And fellas, don't front if this is the means to the end. The happy
Then
end.
take it to the head.
Get you some mix, kid. Now, I got a quick question. In all of your endeavors, TV shows, artist management, now this Mix Moscato, you deal with a lot of people who end up having brands of their own, whether they put out a book or whether they have a spinoff show. As an executive, I'm assuming you help these people with these things, or are these things that once you've kind of blossomed their career, they fly on their own?
It all depends. It depends on the relationship. I mean, do I feel like I help them on a very basic level by
Yes,
providing the
of course.
platform? Yeah, absolutely. Do I necessarily need to participate in every single thing that they do? Not necessarily. I've never had the benefit or the pleasure of a free ride. So if I'm not instrumental in helping it happen, I'm not one of those people that I like.
So let me-
I'm attaching an override to your situation.
Let me
you get a
translate.
check, I do too.
Let me translate. If you got potential and Mona could make some money with you and off you,
Absolutely.
we
Let's
will
do
be
this.
doing business.
Let's
If
do
she
this.
puts you in position and your shit is whack, you on your own.
Can't do nothing for you. I want to talk about another organization that I'm down with, the Grassroots Foundation.
What is this?
The Grassroots Foundation is a wonderful organization that helps young girls become healthy women. And the reason I love what they're doing is because some of the problems that we face, everything from early pregnancy to abuse and insecurity, which leads to lack of confidence, which leads to some of that stuff, goes back to how we feel about ourselves, our weight, our bodies. And so I feel like that's at the basis of a lot of the problems that we face as, young women in our communities and stuff. And what they do is they deal with it at a very young age.
So it's like a mentorship?
Teaching them, it's a mentorship. It's a program that helps encourage healthy eating, healthy living. It talks to them about nutrition, about bodies, about self-awareness, self-respect. So I think that all of those things kind of at an
What's the
early
name again?
stage. It's called the grassrootsfoundation.org. And actually Black Thought from the Roots. This is his foundation.
Oh, dope.
I did something with them around the holidays and just fell in love with their whole philosophy and have now officially come on board as a board member. But, sometimes you look at these problems in our communities and you think they're insurmountable, like how the heck are we going to turn the tide? I just feel like if you dial it back and start at an early age and get their minds right as they're coming up.
So do you believe that this grassroots community organization giving back is gonna help me convince Kay Fox, right, to get and let me fix her hairstyle?
Yeah, about that. No, listen, Kay is
Kay Fox hates me.
She feels very strongly about who she is and how she wants to be represented. So that's the kind of woman that you see.
And in the famous words of India Ari, I am not my hair.
Listen,
Okay?
listen.
I
I love
say it.
Kay Fox's hair natural.
My hair
She
is natural.
wants it to
Hold
be
on a second,
straight.
but I can do whatever I want to do as long as I'm comfortable with it. Then
what I
that's
was saying.
fine.
I was
You don't
trying
have
to
to go
warn you,
around
don't go there,
bashing me.
Don't go there.
No, I don't
highlighting
bash you,
it.
Fox.
Yes, you
I'll be
do.
trying to help.
No, you think you're helping, but you're barking. All I hear is bark, 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 and ridicule.
Okay,
That's
but
not
can
how
I
you
just
help.
say this?
So I gotta hold your hand and walk you to the hair
is
salon?
an accessory, Ebro. These days it comes off like your.
Yeah, but guys, we don't want to know that. We don't want to know it
Listen,
comes
Then
off.
don't
That's
ask.
the real.
Yeah, but if you
Okay.
show up one day with hair like Mona and the next day with hair like
Because
yours,
we can. Because we can.
then we know that's like a pop on, pop
Hold on
off.
a
It's like a
second.
snap on
The
dude.
biggest celebrities do it, okay? The biggest celebrities. Why?
I
if
don't
we
know
have
them. I
access to
know
it,
y'all. God damn it.
Anyway,
And I don't want no
it's
snap
not about
on.
the hair. It's about the respect level.
It's
and
about
how
the
you talk to
personality.
me.
It's about who she is. What do you care what her hair looks like?
Because I need arm candy too sometimes. Shit.
Kay is not your arm candy.
Thank
Well, no,
you.
I'm just saying in general, not K. I'm just saying
I'm
in
just
general.
saying.
I don't want,
And
anyway.
when I step out right. You know, if we're at an event, I'm
Can
ready.
the
That is a
grassroots-
beautiful, secure,
Can the grassroots
self-aware-
community organization help her?
Listen, there is.
We
a
need to help
wonderful-
him. How about that?
We do
Is
need
it for
to help
young
him.
men as well?
But I'll tell you, there is a wonderful story that dates back to that Janice, who is the president of the organization, told me about this young girl who had been teased in school because her hair was, natural texture, maybe a little coarse.
It was nappy.
Okay, yes. And she just was embarrassed and didn't want to go to school and didn't want her hair out. And after spending time with the organization, came in with like her hair out in a full
See,
afro.
now you talking about,
so,
yes.
Yeah, so
Rock
for
that
me,
shit.
that meant a lot,
See, I like them stories. K
Yeah.
Fox, when you come with the afro.
I've been did that. Like, I can do whatever I want to do.
Come back with that.
In college, I had my head wrap. I was doing my head wrap
Yo,
thing
K Fox's
every single
husband is
day.
going to whoop my ass about this, though.
She didn't get married yet.
Well, fiance, once you get to put a ring on it, your
But
husband,
it's not even
fiance,
him. My
whatever.
brothers are looking for you right now.
And her
my
cousin
cousins.
Tace.